This is a little bit bigger than fighting games. But Sony released this morning. Sony announced Sony and Bandai Namco announced a strategic partnership promoting collaboration aimed at strengthening engagement among anime and manga fans and creating new and emotionally moving experiences. So, Bandai Namco and Sony today announced the signing of a strategic business alliance agreement. Sony also agreed with existing shareholders of Bandai Namco to acquire 16 million Bandai Namco shares held by those shareholders for approximately 68 billion yen, which, if I'm not mistaken, is like close to $600 million or something like that. With the acquisition of these shares, Sony will become a shareholder holding approximately 2.5% of Bandai Namco. So Sony is now a part owner of Bandai Namco. Through this business alliance and Sony's investment into Bandai Namco as two of the leading Japanese entertainment companies, Sony and Bandai will focus on expanding the fan community for IP such as anime and manga around the world and strengthening engagement, particularly in the anime field where rapid market growth is anticipated. They also plan to engage in detailed discussion regarding the joint development and promotion of IPs such as anime and manga, in addition to planning and technical collaboration on experiential entertainment. I wonder if that's just another word for games, or if they're going to do like a larger thing. You know what I mean? They're making it sound like it's like experiences less than like video games. You know what I'm saying? And especially since it's with Sony, right? Not directly PlayStation. Not directly PlayStation's with Sony. So this is interesting. Does this mean anything's gonna change for stuff like Tekken, for stuff like Elden Ring? At this point, it's just corporate speak, so I don't know, whatever. But all this means is that for the time being, at least, and although they said Bandai Namco said this is like a mid to long term vision, Sony now owns 2.5% of Bandai Namco. That's what's going on. Hey, Pathos, good to see you, man. Where did my train of thought go? I remember now. So, this isn't the first time that Sony has done something like this. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago. I think we covered it here, as a matter of fact. Sony bought part of Epic. And it feels very similar to what they're trying to do here, right? Like, let's see. So, Sony and Kirkby, I think, they're the people behind... They're the people that own Lego, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Lego group. That's why like there's Lego Fortnite and shit going on now. And this was in April of 2022. Today, Epic Game announces a $2 billion round of funding to advance the company's vision to build the metaverse and support its continued growth. God, I'm so happy that like that metaverse conversation has kind of died since then. I'm trying to see if they can show a percentage, because I think the percentage is similar too, right? It's like 2.5% or something like that of the stocks that they bought. Sony has agreed to make a strategic investment of $250 million. Oh, this was even earlier, actually. Yeah, this is from 2020. So, okay, so this is from 2020, which means that Sony has invested in Epic, and then they reinvested in Epic again when Lego came around. The investment cements an already close relationship, blah, blah, blah. The investment also allows Sony and Epic to aim to broaden their collaboration across Sony's leading portfolio, which I think this is probably what led to some PlayStation IPs getting onto Fortnite and stuff like that. Yeah, so this was kind of like a way for PlayStation to utilize the Unreal Engine. I didn't know there were two. That's interesting, because I saw this one, the Sony and Kirkby investment from 2022, which is like, they're talking about metaverse and shit, and it's kind of gross. But it looks like that happened more than once now. So, yeah, they acquired another 3% stake in Epic. Yeah. So, whew. Sony's just out here doling out money. It's also very interesting that they announced this today, because I wonder if any of this is going to have... I wonder if they're announcing this because there's going to be something at EVO, right? As we all know, EVO is owned now by RTS, which is a talent management group, an event production group. Not event production, it's like an event management group, and PlayStation. So I wonder if this strategic partnership, especially when they're talking about like experiential entertainment, right? I wonder if it has something to do with EVO, or I wonder if it has something to do with like fighting games in general, right? Especially because, you know, Bandai Namco already has like they have the Tekken World Tour, and they have a bunch of other stuff that, you know, they've been running. You know, they had the Dragon Ball Fighters shenanigans and everything. So this is making me think that there's going to be something by Bandai Namco and Sony at EVO. And again, like it's interesting that it's with Sony and not PlayStation, right? Granted, again, PlayStation is owned by Sony, if you didn't know. But they really do emphasize experiential entertainment. Or is this like experiential as in like, you know, you experience video games, right? So are they like partnering to do video game stuff, or are they partnering to do stuff outside of video games? I think more the latter than the first. Just because, you know, I feel like if they were talking about like creating games, they would have just used the words games. But I'm curious to see it. And they're specifically talking about like IPs such as anime and manga. So I wonder if they're trying to like use EVO as like a vehicle to like kind of push manga more than before. And I wonder if they're going to do that at like other events in the West as well. Who owns Crunchyroll, by the way? Oh, yeah, Crunchyroll's owned by fucking Sony. So there you go. So, and they owned Funimation before that. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so it could also just have something to do with Crunchyroll, you know? Or it could be something to do with both. I don't know if you guys remember, but EVO 2023, Crunchyroll had, I think, the biggest booth at EVO. And it was very weird. It was very weird. Mostly because, like, they had I think it was like a Jujutsu Kaisen preview happening. And, like, they had, like, this whole, like, inflatable theater where like they were letting people in to watch like the new Jujutsu Kaisen season or something. I don't know exactly what it was because I didn't go in there. They were also like really pushing Street Fighter Duel and all this other stuff, which, you know, is what it is. But they had a very significant presence at EVO that year. But yeah, I think things to look out for in the future